My name is Bill Welychka, and I've been involved with television and now radio for over 35 years here in Canada. Fortunate enough to start off my very first job right out of college at Much Music as an editor. Eventually found my way on the air and started doing interviews, and I was a VJ and in that building on Queen Street in Toronto for about 17 years. Got a little tiring doing rock star interviews and music interviews. The way our sort of business was going was not aligned with my belief in how entertainment journalism should be introduced to the public. I don't believe in a 10-second soundbite with questions like, who are you wearing? Why were you in rehab? Cellulite, that kind of stuff. And that's the way our entertainment world was going. And it's still like that now, sadly. So I ended up, reinventing myself. I went to Edmonton to host a TV morning show for City TV when it was rebranded there. And then I was in Ottawa and reinvented myself again as a weather anchor. And I've been in Kingston now for 12 years doing a televised morning show at Global. And just recently made the jump to radio with a classic rock big hits format here at 96.3 Big FM. And decided one day, a couple of years ago, to write a book. And the book came out to big success. I was surprised that people actually cared to want to read my story. But they have, and I'm grateful. And there's a big book tour, the final book tour happening in April. And I'll be coming to Newmarket. And I spent some years in Barrie. I spent a couple of years in high school, and I talk about that in the book as well. So, hey, Simcoe County, what's going on? The book is called A Happy Has-Been. I've been asked about, well, why that title? That's derogatory. You shouldn't be saying that about yourself. I don't take myself too seriously. I take what I do seriously, but it is a little self-deprecating. I'm aware of that. But when I look at sort of where my career was and where it is taking me, by design, I started off at a national level in Toronto in a major market, on television, and was in people's living rooms for 17 years. And like I said earlier, I wasn't really a big fan of music journalism and where it was going. So I decided to step away. But years later, I found myself at a smaller market to, of course, a smaller audience. And the book title, A Happy Has-Been, comes from what a coworker referred to me about 15 years ago. And it hurt. And then I thought about it, and it's like, it's true. If you watched much music in the 90s or much more music in the early 2000s, and, you remember me, or you might even hear my name and think, oh, I remember that guy. Yeah, he used to be on TV. Whatever happened to that guy? Is he dead? No, I'm still here. So the book addresses that. There are people that have followed my career from day one, which blows my mind. And there are people currently in Eastern Ontario, where we broadcast with radio and TV, that don't know that I had a music journalistic past. So it encompasses all of that, and I address it. And I'm okay to call myself a has-been. You can't call me that, but I can call myself that. I am grateful that I'm still employed in media. I know a lot of people over the years that I've worked with have gotten out of media. And I love seeing community outreach programs like is happening right there in Barrie with Rogers. I believe in media. I believe in print. I still buy newspapers. I still buy CDs as well. And I consume all kinds of media. And I know the industry is shrinking. I know that some college university courses have even dropped broadcasting courses, but we still need people to put these stories online. There'll always be newsrooms. There'll always be people trying to get to the bottom of a story, asking the tough questions of people that we need to hear from, politicians, spokespeople, whatever. As far as the future goes, I wish I had a crystal ball, but I know that I'm fortunate enough to still be continuing to work in the industry that I chose in my late teens, and I'm still doing it, and I'm very grateful for it. I didn't really set out to write a book. It's odd. I have one, and it's out, and it's been doing very well and continues to do well, but the initial thought of a book, and I've been asked for years, oh, you have a lot of stories, you should write a book. To me, everyone has a great story. I'm fortunate enough that I had a chance to tell mine, but I would hear that, oh, you should write a book. It would go in one ear and out the other. It wasn't until COVID when I started doing a bunch of podcasts. I kept asking to be on um, this podcast or that podcast. And it snowballed. I just kept getting asked, to talk about my life or my career or where much music was and why it doesn't exist anymore in pop culture. And I just started writing stories down one day that were coming to me and started to organize them at my computer at home and started to add to these stories and rearranging them. And it took the form of a book after a few months of just organizing my thoughts. And I thought, I think I'm onto something here. So I plugged away at it, took about a year, found a publisher, and it was very therapeutic. Yeah. There were some things that in the first draft, I let my girlfriend read it, and she said, "You can't say that. My parents are going to read this." So I scaled back a little bit the of the of some stuff, but I'm still very proud of it. And doing these book signings, I did a whole bunch last year. I was in Barrie at Chapters and met a lot of people, and that's the beautiful thing of is connecting with these people that watched me 25 years ago. And at the time, you don't know what kind of difference you're making. You're just hoping to entertain and having a great time along the way. But then meeting people who watched all these years later saying that, you know, they learned something about an artist, or I introduced a video that became their favorite artist, or I was their babysitter, just weird things like that. And I'm grateful and humbled by it. And I think you need that separation all those years later to look back at a time and regard it in a very fond way. And I think that's what people are missing now is much music, and it has a lot to do with nostalgia. And I'm I'm the source of some people's nostalgia. Go figure. I will. I am stoked to be doing this book tour again. I'll be coming to Newmarket, and it starts in Windsor. It goes to London, Cambridge, Guelph, all the way up and down the 401, Burlington, to Newmarket, Richmond Hill, and then it ends up in Toronto, a solid 8 days. And I love meeting people, and they want to come up and they want to ask questions and they want to ask about certain interviews or certain artists. I love it. And hopefully some pictures. I know there was a lot of pictures taken on the last book tours, and I'm taking them too for social media. And I'm also, this time around, it was important to me, and it's in the book. I'm a member of the White Ribbon Campaign, which is a global effort of men joining together to end men's violence against women. And I talk about that in the book. And I made some donations to the White Ribbon Campaign after the first couple of royalty checks, and to different organizations across Canada that deal with women's shelters. I'm still doing that, and I will continue to do that as long as the book is selling. But this particular leg of the book tour, I'm going to have a bucket, and I want people to donate a toonie, a 5, 10, whatever. It's going to be there, and just to throw in whatever they can, and I'm going to donate the proceeds and top it up each stop to the local women's shelter. And I think it's important that guys hear the message that there is no room in our world for any kind of violence against women. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being interested. For more information about the book, the biography, billwelychka.ca. On there is some pictures and the story of the book, and lots of good stuff, and future dates. And if you can make it, would love to see you. Would love to meet you. Would love to shake hands, grab a picture. And again, thanks for watching. You've been great. Mwah.